Hi guys, I'm back. Yay! I am so sorry that I've been gone all last week. I have not forgotten about you guys, and I really wanted to get on here just to greet you guys and tell you that I'm back. I have been gone last week to Georgetown, Kentucky to spend time with my mentor slash spiritual mom since 15, Jackie, and that was an amazing trip. I didn't get any footage though because I decided I wanted that week, last week, to be a really refreshing week, to just kind of reset and take a break from everything and just enjoy being there and really hear from God and just be restored and ready to conquer the rest of the year. And the week before that, I was at wilderness camp. Anyone who knows me knows I am not an outdoorsy person at all, but for whatever reason, God saw fit to send me to wilderness camp and made my brain say yes to going. And it was such a blessing. I really enjoyed myself. Once I got past the first night was kind of creepy because I've never slept. Well, I have, like at a music festival, but I've never been like in the wilderness before, especially at night. And we weren't doing like camping as far as tents and sleeping bags. It was like cooking outside, and they brought the food to us, so we didn't like hunt or fish or anything. But we did have cabins with bunks in it, but the cabins didn't have running water or electricity. So it was kind of like a good introduction to a novice to wilderness like me. It was just enough to push myself, but not enough to push myself over the edge. So it was perfect. And one cool story that I took away from camp that will always stick with me is, um, let's backtrack. I was responsible for doing three devotionals during that camp week, and the very first night I did mine at night. So remember, there are no lights except for like the bonfire and maybe a couple lanterns slash tiki torches. So I really couldn't see people's faces, the kids' faces. We had 7 kids, so it was a pretty small and intimate group, but I still couldn't see kids' faces. And they were very, very quiet during the Devo. They didn't talk or respond or anything like that. So I really couldn't gauge whether they were even paying attention, much less understanding and receiving what my devotional was on. And I do plan on sharing that on this channel at some point, so keep on the lookout for that. But back to that. So I decided, well, I kind of was left feeling discouraged from that devotional, thinking that I'm not really connecting with these kids, even though it was just the first night. I'm not really connecting with these kids, that I didn't feel like they received the devotional. I don't know what I'm doing here. I shouldn't have come. This was a mistake, and just rethinking my whole life basically. So, fast forward to when we were getting ready to go to bed. Side note, I really had to pee when I went to bed, but since there were no lights and a porta potty, and you had to use your phone as a flashlight to see in front of you, I was not going to navigate the wilderness. My first night, pitch black, just to go pee. So I decided to hold it, which was a terrible, terrible decision. But God used my foolishness for His glory, I guess, so to speak. So I couldn't sleep because I had to pee, and one of my girls in the bunk couldn't sleep. She woke up with a panic attack, and the enemy was just really having his way with her. For whatever reason, she was afraid she wouldn't be able to go home, and that she really missed her family. She was afraid something was going to happen to her family while she was gone. Like, full on panic attack. She was starting to feel sick and whatever. And at first, I didn't say anything because I thought maybe she was looking for something. She woke up her best friend. But when I heard her say, "I'm starting to feel sick and I'm hot," I kind of popped up and let her know that I was awake and asked her what was wrong. She couldn't really talk to me because she couldn't breathe, so I had her sit down and just really take a few deep breaths and everything. And she told me enough that she was afraid of something happening to her and her family. And that God kind of used that to remind me of a time where I would say a few weeks, maybe a couple months, almost every night, I had nightmares of being attacked, of people trying to kill me or trying to kill my family. And anyone who knows me, my family means the world to me. So you don't mess with my family. And waking up every night thinking that something's going to happen to them and being afraid to go to sleep or not being able to go to sleep after the nightmares really took a toll. And God finally used the pastor that was over me at the time to encourage me to read Psalm 3, Psalm 27, and Psalm 91. They're all about God's protection and fighting against fears. And so I started reading those every night before I went to bed out loud. And sometimes I still had the nightmares sometimes. So I would read them when I woke up. But eventually those dreams stopped tormenting me, stopped coming every night. And so God helped me overcome those fears. So I remembered that, and I pulled those scriptures up, and she started reading them out loud. I didn't prompt her to do that. This is something she did on her own. But it was really cool to see that as she read it out loud, peace just started coming over her. She started calming down and really started to open up and saying that she felt like God led her to come to this camp despite knowing that she normally couldn't really do sleepovers and stuff because she's super attached to her family and and the enemy would play on her fears whenever she would be gone. And she said that she felt like the message that they were covering over taking risks in order for you to grow really spoke to her about going to this camp. And so I was able to point out that the enemy's trying to play on your fears to keep you from staying here so that you won't grow and conquer your fears and everything. So eventually she calmed down enough to want to try to go back to sleep instead of trying to call her mom. And I told her it's understandable that you're afraid and that this is scary and that you're in a dark place and without your comfortable surroundings, without people that you love, and this is a totally new experience, so it's understandable. I said, but if you get through this first night, I can almost guarantee the rest of the nights are going to be easy and you're actually going to enjoy yourself. So she trusted me and went to sleep, and she stayed for the whole camp. That was just awesome. I'm very, very proud of her for that. But the cooler part is, after all of that, when I settled down to go to bed, God spoke to me and said, this is why you're here. You felt like you weren't connecting with these kids, and when I was wrestling with those thoughts, that's when she woke up and all of that transpired. So she doesn't know, but her experience really was also for me too, to encourage me too. So God's kind of cool like that. And the second thing, not to keep this video for too long, but the second thing that I really, really enjoyed about camp is I got to ride a horse. I don't remember ever really riding a horse before. If I have, I just don't remember it. So this was my first time uh, in my mind, that I rode a horse before, and I loved it. His name was Cyrus, and he was a pony. And this horse ranch, Strong Tower Horse Ranch, takes rescues horses, rehabilitates them, and trains them to have a new purpose in life, being used in equine therapy so they can help people. So their motto is that all of God's creation have purpose. So they help the horses reach their potential so that the horses can help humans reach their potential, and it's awesome. So that right out of the gate just got me. And the biggest thing that got me is they pair the horses to the humans. You don't get to pick the horse that you want to ride. So they picked Cyrus. He was a pony, so he was relatively shorter for a horse than the other horses, but he was still massive to me. Getting on that horse was a struggle. I have footage of that, but just trust me when I say it was trial and error, but I got on that horse. And I got on that horse one way and got off of him on the other side. And when I got off of him on the other side, I got to see the other side of his face. He was a beautiful horse. But I noticed that he was missing an eye. I don't know what happened to him to cause him to lose his eye. But I thought it was really, really cool that God had a horse there that was a small horse and also had a disability. And that horse was brought there so that, one, that it can have a second chance of life, and two, that can have help to fulfill its purpose, to have a new purpose in life. And that really spoke to me, being a little person, being someone with a disability. I thought it was kind of cool how God already had that set up for me and had me notice it. And Cyrus was a very, very sweet horse. He was very calm, and I really appreciated that because I was just afraid that he was just going to get scared and throw me off and I wouldn't be here anymore. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I do have footage of the horse riding of camp, and I will share what God has been speaking to me in Kentucky. And I have put together a video of my very first sermon / testimony. It's really not good quality, but I'm going to go ahead and post that here soon. Just so that you guys can have some sort of idea of my testimony, because I have promised to share that and it's been on my heart to share it. So you will see that soon. You will have all of the footage that you could stand soon. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I haven't forgotten about you. Please continue to support and keep on the lookout for new videos. Bye.